Hello once again, and we are back. So we're going to be talking about Lake of Dracula, which is the third in this bloodthirsty trilogy right here. Where's the Western covers like? Bloodthirsty trilogy, woo! So, I don't think either of the second films are as good as the... So the second or third film aren't as good as the first one, personally. I think I like that one most. I think most of this film was like a kind of horror trope of the main character knowing what the fuck is up, and then everyone else was like, "Ah, you crazy, mate." And that was like a good hour of the movie is literally just like main character going, "Things are a bit fucked up." And then that's it. You're just like, everyone's like, "Ah, you crazy." It's just a little bit too much of that, and then not a whole lot of other stuff going on. Like, she kind of does some investigation and stuff, and you're like, cool. But a lot of it is literally just her, everyone going, "You crazy lady." And you're like, it just takes a little bit too long to get to the final part of, like, uncovering the truth. So entirely spoilers for this. They start off by basically, she has like, well, we start off with like a flashback to her childhood, or I guess not really a flashback. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's presented as a dream, so we're not quite sure if it's a flashback or some kind of dream. But basically, as a child, she kind of ran into a vampire mansion. Ran into a vampire. And she managed to escape. Which we later find out was some foreign guy, apparently, she was able to, who helped her out of the mansion. We don't see that, which is a bit weird. Like, we never actually see that in the flashback. It's literally like, she sees like the Dracula, the vampire character, the main vampire, and then, yeah, she wakes up from a dream. And we never really see like this supposed foreigner from somewhere that saves her. So it's a bit weird, but yeah, I think that my main problem is that you kind of know what's going on, and you're just waiting for the main character to catch up. There's not a whole lot of mystery to this film, I think, is my main complaint. Like, you're just like, well, it's that guy. It's like over there, mate. I'm just like, it's clearly that guy. You know, and we know it's vampires and shit. It's just kind of, I think my main problem is you're just kind of waiting for the main characters to catch up, which, yeah, doesn't make it the best of plot. He slowly basically just converts all her friends other than her boyfriend, not fiance. They got that far. They're just kind of boyfriend. I think the sister kind of goes, "Hey, you guys, you should propose," and he's like, funny story. No, yeah, I think my main complaint is literally just it takes a little bit too long for the main character to kind of catch up. Like that, a lot of it is just everyone going, "Hey, crazy." You're like, you're never quite sure if they understand what she's going through. Obviously, the sister is under like the control of not Dracula or Dracula. It's never really stated. I can't remember if it's. I don't think I stated his name. It's just we see his dad, and that's about it. It's just I think it just takes way too long to be like. I mean, we know what's going on. And it's not like a slasher film where you're like, you watch the teenagers get killed. Yeah, and you enjoy that. Just like, you don't have that angle. Ooh, I do apologize. So, yeah, it's just like, we don't really have that angle to it. So it's like, there's not much else going on. There's just like, kind of people going, whoo. And you're like, okay. Yeah. It's really not until a good hour into the film until they're like, maybe we should like figure out what the hell that dream was you had. And they figure it out basically, and they end up going to the mansion she visited as a child. But it just takes a little bit too long for me. Whereas I do like the it just doesn't have as much creepy angle, I think, as the original, the first, what's it called? He's blanking on the name. Vampire Doll, or The Legacy of Dracula. It just doesn't have as much mystery. You're just like, what's that guy? You're just like, well, he's evil. Whereas, like, at least with the other one, you're like, well, it's someone who wasn't evil. Why is she a vampire? This one doesn't really explain it. It just goes, yeah, he was a vampire. And he's just like, okay. It's when it became vampire. So, yeah. I think I like it. Just overall, as a film, I'm just like, it was like enjoyable. It took too long to finally get to the place of them going, hey, maybe that dream you had was not like crazy. Maybe you're not crazy about talking about all these things. You're like, well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, I think the problem is as the audience, you're just like, well, she's clearly not crazy. Whereas obviously most of the main characters are either under his control or just like, I think you're just tired. Which, yeah, mood, but still. Yeah, it was fun, but as a movie, just like, yeah. I think one of the cooler effects was like right near the end, you see the dead body that basically his dad has been there for like, I don't know. I think the flashback is like 18 years, and I'm pretty sure the dad's been dead since then, so he's been basically kind of drained and still kept alive for a good 18 years at least. But like when his like where his hand's there and it kind of pulls away from his body, it's just like, ooh, it's gross. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I think the problem is there's not a whole lot of suspense. Like, because they're the main character, so a lot of times you're just like, well, she's gonna survive. Main character, mate. Like, yeah. I think if it was more of a group thing, like she's mostly with her boyfriend a lot of the time, but even though there's not really like suspense with him, maybe like you'd have some of the vampire minions go up to him, because he's basically like a doctor who there's like at least one victim shows up in the hospital and just ends up killing themselves. It's weird. But yeah, overall, it's a decent one, but it's fun. It might be more fun to watch with other people. But yeah, like I said, the first one's good, whereas this one's kind of alright overall. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to stop there. And the next film we're going to be tackling is the last film on this trilogy, is The Evil of Dracula, which I have already seen. But you'll have to wait forward to my review next week. So for now, I say, live long and prosper. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.